It's Real 92.3, man. Bootleg Cab, DJ Head.
West Coast.
In the building.
Yes.
A legend. Gucci is here, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening, man?
Welcome, Gucci.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Hey, this is dope.
Hell yeah.
Just want to
We're
say.
glad to have you here, man.
Hell yeah.
We were just talking off the air. It's like your fifth, if you're not counting mixtapes, album since you've been out.
Yeah.
The Evil Genius. Talk about why The Evil Genius.
The Evil Genius, because it's like, I feel like I outlasted all my, all my tribulations, all my trials, and look where I'm at now, look what I've accomplished now. Look how far I've been, look how, like you said, look how many albums I dropped, look how many hurdles I jumped. It's like, it took a lot of street smart, so.
100%, man. And you've always kind of been like ahead of the curve musically, and when it comes to like the up and coming talent, like I know you kind of like were the first people to really kind of discover the Migos, right?
100%.
Do you think the Migos would have been signed with Gucci had you not got locked up at the time?
I feel like it all worked itself out. It worked out
It
for the
definitely
greater
worked out
good,
for the great
but,
for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah. But in a hypothetical situation,
in hindsight, would they have still been with me? Honestly, I never even thought about it. I just know that I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, because look at their careers and
Of
look
course.
at mine. And now we can come back and we got such a good friendship now. And it's so real and then it's the benefit of who they signed with. That's one of my best friends. So that's why I said I don't know. It kind of was perfect. I think they're in the right hands because it's one of my close partners, and they brought him success and they brought them success, and he was just as beneficial to them as they were to him.
100%. Yeah. Shout out to Offset. Him and Cardi. They just announced like a public split. Like any words of positivity for them. Going through like they're obviously in the public eye. That's always probably a lot tougher than a normal couple.
They family to me. So my prayers is always for them. I'm always wishing the best for them. And that's just it. That's it.
Speaking
positivity towards them.
Speaking of which, you got into a very public, marriage situation, and I feel like that was like big, bro. One of my homies proposed at a Laker game,
Wow.
and it was just like to see that to me is like a big deal, like because I don't see myself ever doing no shit like that.
I proposed on stage in front of 15,000 people to my girl.
That was happening.
Yeah.
That's some real shit, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Were you nervous at all, like doing that?
No, I wasn't even nervous at all.
Just.
It was like something that I wanted to do. So, like you said, you ain't never see yourself doing it.
Yeah.
You probably ain't never met nobody.
It's worth doing it
that was
for.
worth doing it for.
Yeah.
So you find somebody that you feel like you can build something with, and that it's worth doing. You make that decision.
I feel like this is a whole new Gucci too. Like,
No,
I'm just saying, for me personally, as a fan watching your career, like I feel like I love the energy, I love your positivity, I love like it just seemed like you so much more locked in and clairvoyant.
it's like I appreciate that, but to a lot of my fans, they kind of like grew up with me. From me being 22, 23, 24 to the age I am now. So it's like it ain't the I wouldn't say a new Gucci because I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
But I damn sure got some new experiences.
You went through life.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, life
So
will teach you.
That shit it does change you. It either gonna change you for the better or the worse. And in my case, I feel like it changed me for the better.
I heard when you were locked up that you and your wife would wake up at the same time and work out at the same time, even though you guys weren't together.
Yeah,
Just to kind of build, and you guys kept doing that once you got out, right?
100%.
Any advice I'm getting married on Sunday.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So I'm getting married Sunday. Any advice you would give me, man, for marriage?
Honestly, just embrace it and just be happy, man. And I always try to, not be judgmental. Don't you just there to be. As long as you happy and you in a good space, then y'all have a good partnership.
100%, man. Me and my boys always get into arguments about who is on the Mount Rushmore of trap music. Now, obviously, you have an undisputed spot on that Mount Rushmore. Who else would you include on the Mount Rushmore of trap?
I feel like I would stand on the throne by myself.
It'd just be one
West
big
Coast.
chisel with H.
Yeah, it's a good wop up there,
Yeah. Not trying to be arrogant, but I just feel like my influence was. I feel like I'm kind of like, not saying in their personal lives, but kind of like how Little Richard and Chuck Berry, they say they were the father of rock and roll. I feel like in all those like different, white artists kind of covered all their songs. I feel like black artists did that to me.
Yeah.
With all my songs, they took my flows and they kind of made covers of them into different songs. And I'm glad they did it, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm very influential in how music kind of sound.
Well, I do feel like, you could obviously throw T.I. and Jeezy in that talk, but I do feel like you, out of all those guys from that era, your influence has reigned much longer and is much more prevalent. Like
everybody give it up to you, bro.
Well, you could hear it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I agree. That's why I say I won't say that no arrogant place. I feel like that was my contribution.
100%.
And I also feel like I opened up my studio doors. I opened up my bank account. I opened up, you know what I'm saying? I opened up my trap. I opened up my spots. Embrace all these artists and like we gonna all figure it out.
No, you definitely, yeah.
Like,
you let everybody in.
If I got an 8-bedroom, then everybody got somewhere to sleep. That's kind of how I did with the city of Atlanta.
I want to tell you something, bro. We always talk about it out here on the West Coast. Like, we don't really have that lineage, like where people with the OGs embrace the youth like that. I mean, they do, but not on the level that you've done in your region. And I feel like I always give you props to that. And I've spoken with other OGs on this radio station, and they said it's just set up different. What gives you the motivation to put the little homies on like that?
I'm glad you asked that question because it was just dynamics of my situation. I feel like when I first got on, a lot of the people who was doing, my peers was kind of collaborating with each other and wasn't collaborating with me. And then a lot of other artists wouldn't collaborate with me because they felt like they collaborate with me. My peers wouldn't want to work with them.
Facts.
So it led me to kind of like work with less known artists. So I was like, hey, I do a feature with an artist who probably had the money that another artist would be like, nah, I'm too big to do that feature. But as I was doing it, I'm building relationships. I'm finding a lot of dope producers, artists, DJs. Yeah. And instead of me doing them like this, it's like I kind of embraced them and brought them on.
Bro,
well, it's funny because, I used to be, that's how I got my name, Bootleg Kev. I used to sell mixtapes when I was like 17.
He's bootlegging your shit, is what he trying to say.
I definitely
ain't got
was.
no problem.
I definitely was. No, but I do remember that era. It did kind of seem like you were like the black sheep out of like Atlanta.
I was.
Like you weren't like you know what I'm saying? Like there was like the cool it guys and then there was Gucci.
Exactly. I say,
you were definitely the underground
even now,
hero.
Like it's different to feel people celebrate, like damn, it's a comeback story, look where you was at, and I understand, but people weren't rocking with me like that back then, man. People didn't, they like my music, but people didn't want me to come around. People were scared for me to come around.
I was telling your shit. What was the label you was on? Was it Big Cat Entertainment or?
Yeah, Big Cat.
Yeah.
That was like.
And you had the Jamaican cat from Belly on your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, Ox. Yep.
Speaking of your beginnings, the first time I ever caught wind of you, one of my big homies, Glasses Malone, G Malone, he went down to Atlanta. He said he was at Club Crucial, and he saw you on the dance floor with no shirt on. You had a twin, like the FBI strap thing, and you was on the dance floor, like just by yourself, no security.
I used to be mobbing through Atlanta, no security. That's just how it was. That's really how it is.
In the middle of the dance floor.
Whatever somebody gonna do to you, they're gonna do to you anyway.
Yeah.
So security or no security, ain't that gonna stop it?
Obviously, I never thought in a million years I would hear Bruno Mars and Kodak Black on the same record together. I was in Florida doing radio 2014, 2015, and I saw Kodak's come up, man. Talk about Kodak's energy. He's such a good kid, and I feel like, he's kind of like...
I think he's a lot. I see a lot of Gucci in him.
Me too.
A lot of Gucci. I just see that energy. Like, he's speaking for the streets. You know what I mean?
I feel like Kodak one of the dopest artists out right now. It ain't even no secret. He just got that it factor. You know what I'm saying? Some people just got it, and I feel like the streets know that. People always kind of gravitate to what's real and what's authentic, and they see that. And then on top of that, he talented.
Did you give him any game as far as the legal troubles and shit like that?
I reached out to him, and he got my number, so we done chopped it up before, but he know I'm always there for him. He ever need me.
He seems like, too, he's gotten out like a new guy. You know what I'm like? He seems
Kodak,
like he's learned. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't hard to look at and tell that he's smart. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's a smart kid for sure,
exactly,
man.
So he got his stuff together.
We had Asian Doll up here. Shout out to Asian Doll, who's the first lady of the label, right?
First female artist I ever signed.
That's crazy. What about her made you make that move? There's so many dolls out there, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Really, I like her music. You know what I'm saying? I listened to like 4 or 5 of her songs. I just Googled her name. Then I listened to a mixtape before I signed her, and it sounded good. And then after that, she wanted to sign with us. So I went to the team like, what y'all think about Asian the Doll? She's reaching out and listen to her music, and everybody like she dope, and it was like a unanimous decision.
That's dope, man. Speaking of the legal stuff, 6ix9ine's locked up right now, which is kind of an unfortunate situation. It's kind of the internet meets the real world sometimes. Is there any, you did a long bid. Is there any advice you'd give to him, for being locked up?
I always keep your head up. Anybody locked up, I hate to see any brother. I met 6ix9ine before. I don't really know him, but he came to maybe 2 of my concerts and told me he liked my music. And then I felt like, that took a lot just to come there, shake somebody's hand and tell me, hey, man. So for that, I saluted him for that from that day. And, man, I feel like I hate to see any black, brown, white, I hate to see anybody in that box, man. Anybody.
Never wish jail on anybody, right?
Bruh, nobody.
What's like some jailhouse, like if Gucci is like, able to cook up a meal in jail, what's the best meal in jail Gucci could cook up?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay.
Yep. That jail shit ain't nothing to even glorify.
Did you do a lot of music while you was?
I wrote a lot of the songs off. I'm sorry to
off
cut
of the
you
project.
off.
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of the songs off Everybody Looking.
Yeah.
They was wrote in prison.
Yeah, you got out. It's
like I already had the songs written. Like I came out like when I get out these songs, I got to record. I kind of like made a pact to myself. Like I don't care what happened when I get out. You got to record these songs because they meant something in there.
Yeah.
So it's like I ain't want to get out and then the world start going so fast and I be like, I can just write something else. It's like I got to rap first day out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So now that you removed from that, what's the difference between that project and Evil Genius?
Evil Genius is more of a festive time, a celebratory time. When that time was more like I got something on my chest, I got to get out, like
you've been sitting there, you got to get your shit off.
It wasn't even like, it was kind of emotionless, it was kind of straight focus. This what I've been through, I kind of, felt like I had a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm in my bag on, God is good, life is good, I'm so blessed.
Turn up time.
Turn up through the roof.
I'm curious, obviously you're from Atlanta, but yesterday was Jay's birthday. Happy birthday to Jay-Z. Do you have a favorite Jay-Z album?
Favorite Jay-Z album? Not right off the top of my head.
No, off the top of your head. What about like, you coming up? Like you are a part of the class of the most influential Atlanta rappers of all time. Shout out to like Andre and Big Boy, in their own right as well. But who was your biggest influence? Coming up as a rapper, like who you think helped form your style?
In Atlanta?
Just anywhere.
Oh, my style, Skinny Pimp, Project Pat, Pimp C, 8 Ball. That was like some of my favorite. LL Cool J back then, but
of course,
definitely I would say DJ Paul too. I felt like I like all like the real hood crime boss,
of course,
the hard boys. This type of shit.
Did you ever get to link up with Pimp C before he passed?
I did a song with him, but I never got to meet him.
That's crazy. I hear that like a lot of people say that. Like, man, I had a song with him, but we never met.
My single was with him right before he passed away. He had I was just about to do a video with him, and then he passed.
Is anybody that Guwap is listening to right now, up and coming artist that you got your eye on?
I listen to Lil Baby, Gunna, Future, Migos, Takeoff new album, Quay new album, Waiting on Offset new album.
What about somebody who like
Pablo?
Okay. Yeah. Shout out Hoodrich Pablo. Anybody that we haven't heard of? Because I know you got the A&R ear, man.
Oh, yeah, I got my artist Marlon Quill, Z Money out of Chicago, Asian. It's a dope artist Marlo that PJ signed. Any new artists, Lil Skies, I think he dope.
Skies is dope, yeah.
Who else? Lil Key, Lil Got It from Atlanta.
For sure.
Somebody just put me on them. Young Boy. Kevin Gates.
You and Gates linked up yet?
Yeah, we did Jimmy Kimmel last night.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Gates, man.
Yep. Major shout out to Gates, man. He too real.
Yeah, for sure. We had a too real moment with
We know. We know.
Yeah, we know.
We'll show it to you. He pulled up.
What about I feel like you helped kind of son all these producers, like, brought them up, man. Like, shout out Zaytoven, like,
yeah.
Mike Will.
Major shout out to Zaytoven. That's like one of my best friends in the world. Without Zay, I do not know if I'd be here today without Zay. He was very influential.
You guys kind of like, I feel like, he just kind of gave another, like, leg to your career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you know 100%. What I'm saying?
He just, with nothing else, man, he been nonstop encouragement from the day I started rapping. Man, I never had nobody, who made me feel like, if anybody ever made me feel like I was dope, it was, I was already had, like, the arrogance and conceit, like, I'm the freshest, before I started rapping, but Zay was first one like telling me that who I respected, like, man, that verse was so dope every time I rap. And that he just don't. I knew he knew, but that gave me the confidence to, I can be a rapper. Zay tell me I'm the hardest thing out.
That's dope.
That's dope, man. Well, Gucci, we appreciate you coming through, man. Yo, the album is coming out. Well, it comes out tomorrow night.
Yes, December 7th. We're really midnight tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
Listen, Eve Virginia's coming out. It's the hardest album. I ain't dropped the album in a whole year. You know, I used to drop an album every 3 or 4 months.
Facts.
So if I take a year to give you something, you know it's right.
Gonna be a classic.
Yeah, take your time on this one.
It's gonna
Thank
be a
you,
classic,
bro.
man. Real
Appreciate you.
92.3. Thanks for coming through. Boom.
For sure.